Wednesday mornings at this time, we check in with our friends at the Blacklocks Reporter. It is the only reporter-owned and operated newsroom covering our nation's capital. It is subscription-based and well worth that. Visit blacklocks.ca, get one of your own subscriptions, that is, and then understand even more about just some of the stories that we talk about each and every week at this time with the managing editor at Blacklocks, Tom Korski. Good morning, Tom.
Morning, Mike.
I must be honest, quick background. I have romantic memories of the Confederation Bridge. Many a year ago, Tom, I took a trip across that bridge. I was so excited. I had some PEI lobster for lunch when I got to the other side. This was a great piece of infrastructure. And this week, a great news story for the federal government, or so I thought, lowering tolls, opening up access to Canada, et cetera, et cetera. But there is a rather twisted tale connected to this bridge, is there not?
It is a very pretty bridge, but the less you know about the bridge, the happier you will be.
I was happy until you came along, Korski. I was happy.
Taxpayers built that. It cost $1 billion, and then they leased it to a private operator. And the investors in that privately run bridge have included, for instance, the husband of the now Foreign Minister, Anita Anand. They guaranteed the bridge operator a minimum amount of toll revenue, regardless of the number of vehicles that pass the bridge. And when the Prime Minister announced on Monday that he was going to cut the tolls in half, all that means is John Q. Sucker taxpayer is sending a bigger check to the private operators of the toll bridge. They won't say how much, and now they've sealed all the records on the Confederation Bridge toll compensation until 2026, almost 2027. So they don't want taxpayers nosing around to find out the real story about this very pretty bridge that is, frankly, a guaranteed income plan for anybody who got on the inside.
And that income is, well, I mean, as you said, it's guaranteed. So we're just going to pay more of it because the tolls have been slashed in half.
They could eliminate all traffic on the bridge, and you're still going to be paying tolls. The margin, by the way, the Budget Office looked at this a few years back, and they had to take a guess because none of this information is made public. They figured a 54% margin. 54%. General Motors, in their best day, makes 12%. Who makes 54% on their air quotes investment? If you got in on the ground floor of this little scam at taxpayers' expense. It's unbelievable, Mike.
It was a pretty bridge, Tom. It really was. Speaking of taxpayers, Canada Revenue has conducted some in-house research and found that there is cynicism of our tax system, you don't say. Very
deep cynicism, but you know, it troubles them. That's the interesting part, that they keep polling these questions. What does the revenue agency do? They hired some researchers to hold focus groups. And they ask ordinary T1 tax filers and small business and some accountants and bookkeepers, how are we doing? And they get the most recent response comes back and says there's this growing cynicism that the system soaks the middle class, and that if you are rich, undefined, if you're rich, how did they put it? Rich people have an easier time tax cheating than middle-class Canadians, end of quote, because, of course, they can hire tax attorneys that do bill by the hour. Canada Revenue Agency, I know this is, people accept this with bitter irony. They actually worry when you say things like that in focus groups because the whole system is built on the honor basis. We must self-report our income because we're good citizens, and we think that Ottawa won't waste the money. And when they see these surveys that point to creeping cynicism, they get very upset. You would say, well, so stop wasting money. Well, that's another bridge too far, Mike.
Oh, bridges, they just keep coming up today for some reason. I think we have the makings of a new reality show, thanks to your reporting at Blacklocks from Global Affairs Canada. Could we call this show Diplomats Behaving Badly, by chance?
Fraud, embezzlement, theft. My favorite was the kickback scheme. There was an unnamed diplomat working in a Canadian mission abroad who figured out that he could overpay a certain locally hired staff, which is a very common practice, and then get the long-suffering employees to kick back their raises to his personal account. Ironically, 22 Canadian diplomats fired last year on 120 complaints deemed valid. That's a very high ratio. Number of police called, 0. MPs and senators have gone to jail for less, Mike, but they don't like calling the police on their own employees.
It's like we talk in this province about the Special Investigations Unit and police investigating police. So that's okay. We'll trust Global Affairs to investigate global affairs, right?
The worst punishment they mete out is firing. In 2 cases, one was the kickback scheme I mentioned. They said they were taking legal, that would be a civil court claim, to recover some of the taxpayers' funds that were stolen by a diplomat representing Canada abroad. It's pretty shabby.
All right. We know that the situation in the Middle East continues to get headlines, but right here at home, in-house, so to speak, the two chambers can't seem to agree on whether or not we as a nation export any weaponry to Israel. Cabinet says one thing, the Red Chamber says another.
What's interesting is those in the Red Chamber are all Liberal appointees. And they again, yesterday, this is over a quarter of the Senate, 26 senators, all Liberal appointees, signed a petition and said Cabinet must stop all exports of arms to Israel, weaponry to Israel. And Cabinet has said over and over, and I mean as recently as Monday, we don't export weaponry to Israel. Any sales are quite modest. Last year, about $70 million. That's not a lot of money. What did we sell? Radar parts, satellite software, circuit boards, GPS anti-jam technology. That's not hurting anyone in Gaza. And here you have 26 senators. Our question is, Mike, these are not people off the street. You're the Senate. If you feel this strongly about it, you think Cabinet's lying, come back from your summer holiday for 13 weeks, have lots of committee hearings, get the Deputy Foreign Minister down and give him a very good grilling in committee. Or do you just want to issue ironic news releases? They decided to go with iron.
The chance they had to build bridges with Cabinet, missed opportunity there, Tom.
Holiday time, Mike.
Tom, enjoy the rest of your day, sir. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Mike.
Tom Korski, managing editor at Blacklock's Reporter. Check it out for yourself at blacklocks.ca. I know you'll like what you find. It's the only Reporter-owned and operated newsroom covering our nation's capital, and we bring you a little bit of Ottawa's business every Wednesday morning at 10 with Tom Korski, managing editor at Blacklock's, right here on the Mike Farwell Show.